All right. Welcome back to the podcast, Vintage and Stuff with Drew Heifetz, where we talk about vintage and stuff. Today I have Chris Bailey on the show.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I've met Chris once at the Rose Bowl, but we've been chatting it up for a long time via the DMs because he is a fellow vintage head. He is a friend to the planet.
Yes, sir.
Which I admire. And yeah, we're going to chop it up today. So what's up, Chris?
Man, what's up? And don't forget to mention that I was a customer of F as in Frank Vintage like many years ago, man. When you guys were
I appreciate that immensely, my friend.
My snapback collection was very, very, very good because of you guys.
Nice. So is that kind of how you got into vintage in the beginning? Like, what year was that you were buying from us?
Man, that was 2010 or 2011. 2010, 2011. I remember that was my first year of college, and I was I just like stumbled across it, and I was like, man, I like this stuff, and I wanted to buy some vintage stuff. I just got into thrifting, and I was in college, so it was like it was easy to go to the thrift store and like buy stuff, so
yeah, they were a lot more stacked back in those days, man. Not so much competition.
Yeah, and a couple of my friends, they were into it with me too, so we just turn it into something to do. And then I think around that time snapbacks were like real cool, and I had a bunch of snapbacks in my grandparents' house from some stuff my grandpa had collected, and I had like some real cool ones. But then I found you guys, and I found some more cool ones through you guys, and some of those silk bomber jackets too.
Oh yeah,
a bunch of those. Those like were good for like some costumes and
the
stuff.
Picasso joints and like the crazy Givenchy style.
Yeah.
Oh,
so.
Yeah.
F as in Frank Vintage. I was putting people on, man. I was like, man, they're the plug. They got some good shit. So nice. I remember shopping with you guys way back when.
Yeah, that's super rad. I didn't even mention that in the intro, that you are the founder of One Off Project, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And we're going to get into that a lot more on this podcast, obviously. But super sick that you shopped at Frank in those days, man. There was nobody online back then, man. Like that was a good time.
Yeah.
I didn't even appreciate it back then for what it was, because I was so in it, but now I look back and I'm like, it's so sick that we were one of the first people online during that time.
That was awesome, dude. That was so awesome. You guys were the only ones that were affordable. There were some other ones, but they were selling shit for like stupid prices, man. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah. We used to do dumb shit too. We used to give away hats on Friday. I remember this is when like Twitter was still popular. We'd go on Twitter and we'd throw out like trivia.
Yeah, man.
Trivia would get a free hat. That shit was fun. So, bring us into where are you from, man? Like honestly, we've met, we've chatted a few times, but I don't really know a ton about you. So like, where are you from? What was your childhood all about? And like, let's get into it.
Right. So I kind of grew up all over the country. I was born in Orlando, Florida. My mom and my dad, they went to a high school called Dr. Phillips High School. So a lot of stars went there.
Really?
My first neighbor in life was DJ Khaled. That's like my dad and my uncle's real good friend. He used to come hang out. Yeah, his house. His parents' house was right across the street from my mom's parents' house, and those are the grandparents that raised me. But my dad, he's from Jamaica, so his family, they lived in a little neighborhood called Carver Shores, and they still live there to this day. But anyways, Khaled used to come over there, and that's how he really got into Jamaican culture. My dad said they're the first Jamaicans that Khaled ever hung out with, and he would come through and he want to eat the food and listen to the music, and him and my uncle were DJs, and they would DJ parties at their high school, and my mom would sneak out the house to go to the parties. It's crazy. So
that's epic. And this is in Orlando?
Yeah, that's in Orlando. And you know what? Joey Fatone was in the same graduating class as my mom, the dude from NSYNC.
Wow.
You know, a lot of people would be over there because, you know, like the Mickey Mouse Club and all that, and Disney that was like over there, and a lot of people were like using that route to like try to like get fame from a young age. So it was like NSYNC, like all those dudes from NSYNC, Britney Spears, like a lot of those people were in Orlando around that time.
So I guess parents would be like, we want our kids to be movie stars or musicians. Let's move them to Orlando and get down with them.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
All that, yeah. If you go back and watch the documentaries of those young stars, you'll see a lot of old footage that's in Orlando's, like the Mickey Mouse Club and stuff, and that's how they all met each other early back in the day.
That makes perfect sense, man.
Yeah. I was born there. I was born in Orlando. After that, we kind of moved around. My grandfather, he's a rocket scientist, so
oh shit,
he would get moved around all around the world. So during my lifetime, we moved to after Orlando. I think we moved on my second birthday, and we moved to Boston. This place called Chelmsford, it's in Massachusetts. It's like a small town. I don't remember too much, just a lot of snow, and we had like a sunroom that was on the wrong side of the house, and I used to always wear this Winnie the Pooh costume all around the house. Like that's my main memories. And then
please post a picture of that.
Oh man, I have some good ones, dude, for real. And I have some dope pictures of me wearing some vintage Harley stuff from when I was a kid, and I had a little Harley bike. And I used to ride it around in the snow, man, and the snow would like come up to my chest.
Yeah, I used to hang out in Boston quite a bit because I went to school in Vermont, so Boston was like the closest city to us. So I spent a lot of time on the East Coast. I love it over there.
Yeah. So that was like really before I was, I have like a very big memory. But then we moved to Alabama. We went to Madison, which is that's in Alabama. It was like a small town, and I have a lot of memories from there. Growing up in the South, we lived over there for like 2 or 3 years, and I remember going fishing a lot and just a lot of Southern living, man. I have a lot of memories of that. So after that, we moved to Texas. That's where my grandma's side of the family is from. Texas is like, I got family in every part of Texas over there. So, man,
you've been around, dude.
Crazy place, man. Texas is a crazy place, man. I've gotten to see a whole lot of stuff in my life, even as I'm young. Like I got to see a lot of cool stuff in my life. So, my uncle by marriage is Moses Malone. So rest in peace to him. Man, that lifestyle was crazy. I met ball players. We used to get free Jordans. We used to get free, it was crazy, man.
Wow.
So yeah, I was over there until I was about like 7 or 8, I think, of like first grade. And then first grade, we moved to Arizona, Tucson, Arizona. That's where I would say I grew up. And like, I'm pretty much from there because like I spent the most amount of time in Arizona, and I spent about 19, close to 20 years in Tucson, and then I moved to LA just last year. On the 27th of October is 1 year that I've been in LA. So
do you know the Tucson boys like Zach and Slobby Robbie and all those guys?
Oh yeah, man. I did some pieces for them, yo. I made these Louis Vuitton safety glasses. Robbie was really digging them, and I made a custom.
Oh, yeah, I seen him post those a while ago. That might have been how I first got put onto you.
Maybe,
I'm not sure though.
Maybe because that was a little project that I did just to see what would happen, and it was just like this idea that I had, and I was really trying to mess with transparent like designs, and so I wanted to do like this transparent design with the Louis Vuitton on the safety glasses, because the Louis Vuitton is transparent, so you can see through it. Yeah. It's not like you put them on and you're like blind, But anyways, yeah, I made some glasses for him. He has a custom pair actually that I made for him. He wears them and shit.
I've been meaning to get him on the show, man. He's a crazy motherfucker.
I could connect you with him, man.
I know. We chat all the time. It's just been like linking up the times. You know, he's like, oh, I'm going to Vegas for sneaker con, then I'm going here for this. Now he's getting paid. Like, it's so funny how he blew up so fast from the TV show, man.
Yeah, that TV show was really hit a lick for him, man.
Yeah, it's wild. No, I've known him for a minute. He's a good guy. So yeah, we'll have an episode soon. But that's cool that you're from Tucson, man. I mean, I saw Zach last weekend, or last Rose Bowl anyway. He came out. We had a good time. We hung out, went to dinner.
Yeah. So in Tucson, I would say, so about like 4 years ago, in 2015, I graduated from college from the U of A, and I was really I was going through a tough time in my life. I was like really conflicted about what I wanted to do because, when you go to a 4-year university, like, there's a very generic route that you can take, and then there's always your own path that you can take. And me and my boys were kind of like, man, I don't know. I don't think this is really for us, man. Like, it's just not. I'm not really a clone. I'm kind of my own type of person. So I got into designing. I taught myself how to design. I taught myself how to produce music and how to design over the last 4 years.
So quickly touch on this university. What were you studying?
Shit. I got a degree. My bachelor is in communication. I got a minor degree in fashion retail and consumer science, and I have another minor degree in sports management. But I just got that so that I could graduate a little bit earlier. That's it. It was just an easy cop out.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of relevance in the merchandising, and that kind of the fashion part. I think you're right, man. I think a lot of people, school probably 20 years ago was the way to go. I never actually went. I applied to university, didn't get in. Yeah. So I just did my own thing and snowboarded for a lot of years.
Yeah.
But I think there's so much you can learn outside of school now, and school needs to catch up to the rest of the world, as in what they're teaching, because the world's moving faster than the education is catching up,
For real, man. And I think for me, what I realized is, all right, I can't be put into a number system where I'm just like another, person just cranking out numbers and work, and it's just another day and it's just a boring lunch break, and I got to wear a suit and a tie and all of that. That's just not me. That's not who I am. So I couldn't really go down that route. During my time in college, though, I got to do some epic things. Like, I got to do some life-changing things that made me want to do what I'm doing now. In 2013, I ended up being an intern for Mark McNary at BBC Ice Cream while he was doing a collaboration with Pharrell. So I met Mark McNary in Jay-Z's office, and the rest is history, because right now, as we're speaking and doing this podcast, I'm in the shop. I'm at Mark McNary's Hollywood Dig. This is his pop-up store. I manage this, and I designed for him. Yeah. That's my this is my everyday job, and I love working with Mark and helping him out. So it's clothes. It's I get that OG advice when I need it, and I'm getting to meet some cool people. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, dude, that's super sick. Hold on 2 seconds. I just gotta get a chair.
All right. What's up, Mark? I'm doing a podcast right now.
So, that's so I remember you told me about that a little bit, that you work for BBC. So, where's this shop at? LA?
We're on Hollywood right now. It's right next to Shake Shack. There's your boy Mark. Mark, he just walked in.
What's up? How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Drew Heifetz.
Yeah, this is a vintage guy, big vintage dude.
Where are you?
He's in
LA.
Canada,
man.
Oh, he said you were in LA.
No, I'm in outside of Vancouver, Canada.
Wow.
The Great White North, dude.
And I can see you and talk to you and hear you.
Technology is a crazy thing.
It is. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm Brian Fellows.
Okay, now Mark is going to try to take over the podcast.
No, I'm got bad news.
What?
Only 2 tickets.
It's okay. It's all good. Anyways, we were supposed to go to the Clippers game. He thought he got 3 tickets, but he only got 2, so he's going to take his son. But anyways, yeah. So I met this guy. I met this guy in Jay-Z's office. I had a friend of a friend. He tipped me off. He said, look, there's this dude I used to work with, or I just was working with. His name is Noah. He said that he was working with Mark McNary. He's looking for an intern. He's doing a project with BBC Ice Cream. You know, that was like a big, that brand was like a big thing for me when I was a kid. So
did you just say you met him in Kanye's office?
No, in Jay-Z's office.
How do you get in Jay-Z's office?
Okay, I'm about to tell you. So he tells me, hey, this guy's looking for an intern. I'm like, man, okay, I have to do an internship to get to graduate, right? So I'm trying to get some college credit off of an internship so I can complete my credits to graduate soon.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, well, I really want to go to New York City because I really liked New York City. I visited a couple of times. So this guy's in New York. So I'm like, all right. So I write up an email and I'm like, hey, man, like I'm looking for an internship. And, like I got a good knowledge of the clothing game and I've been following it for a long time. And I would love to come out there and do something. And so they replied to me and they said, yeah, so come through the office and have an interview on this day. And I didn't even tell them that I was living in Arizona or anything because I didn't want them to think that I couldn't make it. So
yeah, you gotta like take out any odds of you not getting it, man. Just like tell them what they gotta hear, make it happen.
Right, exactly. So I just said, okay, cool, I'll be there, and I bought a ticket. I bought a one-way ticket to New York City. And my dad was living there at the time in New York. So I just figured even if I don't get it, I could just go chill with him for a little bit. So I go to the address that they sent me and like, yo, I go into this building and I got to go all the way to the top floor. You got to get a security pass to go up the elevator and all this. And I get in this office, man, and it's just huge. It's this huge office. There's like 2 sides of it. And I'm seeing like Basquiat's on the walls and shit. And it's great. I'm like, dude,
you're in the big leagues now, man.
Yeah, I was like, this ain't Pharrell's office. He ain't got money like this. And then I'm sitting there waiting to get my interview, and I see this lady walk down the hallway, and she's tall, and she looks just like Jay-Z in the face. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, yo, this woman looks just like Jay-Z. And then she comes up to me, and she's like, who are you? And I told her, and then she was like, oh, yeah, I know who you're here to see. And then the rest is history. I met this guy, the guy that I was emailing, and then he ended up giving me the summer internship at BBC Ice Cream and like Rock Nation. I was like one of the only interns at the time, so I kind of just became everybody's intern. So I was doing stuff for Mark McNary, I was doing stuff for Rock Nation, I was doing stuff for BBC, like I was doing stuff for everybody. So I was meeting a whole lot of people, famous people.
I'm kind of naive on this. Like Jay-Z owns BBC?
Now Jay-Z had a partnership. He had a partnership with BBC. He had bought it in like 2008. I think in 2008, BBC Ice Cream decided that they were going to do their distribution like less exclusive. So that's when they started becoming available in like department stores and like small street.
Yo, sorry, you cut there. You good?
Yeah. Did you hear it? Did you hear that?
No, I'll repeat that last bit.
So like Jay-Z's, because he had that partnership, BBC Ice Cream's design office in their showroom was inside of his office.
Okay.
So I didn't really know it was going to be like that. It just, ended up that.
So then you actually moved to New York for that job, or was the job out in LA?
Yeah, New York. I was in New York for like three or 4 months.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what's this job that you're at now? What do you do?
So I basically just help Mark out with his pop-up store here on Hollywood, and I like do his product shots and his online inventory, and I design stuff for him sometimes. And yeah, we just kind of have a good time, and
Sounds awesome. Ah,
yeah.
okay. So let's get into the one-off project, man. How did this whole thing come about?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, explain to us what
So
it is exactly.
yeah, so One Off it's a concept brand where I recycle clothes and I make every garment one of a kind without spending, more time on one than the other. It's basically just taking old garments and making them new. So sometimes I print. Most of the time, I'm just printing over them and printing my logos and disclaimers on top of them. Sometimes I cut and sew and do put 2 or 3 garments together and make somewhat of like a Frankenstein type of piece. Um, I created it like 3 years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago, I came up with the concept. Um, I just basically was having I was kind of having a hard time. I was having a tough time in life, and I wanted to express this feeling of having of being one of a kind. Being my tagline is "Last One Left." This is the way that I felt at the time. Um, I felt like I was on my own, and then
So,
also,
like, why were you having a hard time? Can you talk about it?
oh man, it was just ridiculous. It was like everything was going really good. I was doing like these pop ups and I was like designing clothes and I was selling out all these pop up stores in my city and everything was going well. And then,
With the
you know,
one-off project or with something else?
no, no, no. This was before One Off. I was
Okay,
doing like bootleg Gucci Mane merch when Gucci Mane had first got out of prison. We were like doing these pop ups. I was doing like installations with like ice cream trucks and like snow and like trap phones. It was awesome. It was sick.
crazy.
Anyways, after that, like I end up having a tough time with some friends. End up like just really like not being my real friends and like kind of like doing some shady shit and stabbing me in the back and lying to me. And then it was like, when you think somebody's like really your homie or really got your back, and then that happens, it's like it's devastating.
Totally, man.
And that happened, and then on top of everything else, um, just family issues, personal issues. My mom's kind of been battling this whole addiction thing for most of my life, and it was like just getting crazy at that time, just really like spiraling out of control. She's doing really crazy shit. It was affecting me and everybody in my family like really bad. So I was just, I was in a tough time, and so I made One Off. All of the logos and the messages on the clothes are supposed to be for the wearer. So I want people to feel that same type of way that you're one of one person. Um, all of us have a past. All of us have some type of you know drama or stress or whatever. We've all been through some stuff. And so like when you go into a thrift store and you find T-shirts and you find garments, like you don't know what they went through before you got them. Like a lot of times I think that when I find cool shit, I'm like, the person who used to wear this must be dead, because
Yeah.
why would you get rid of this? Like this is awesome. Like that's the only reason I would ever get rid of it is if I was dead. You know what I'm saying? So, but who
Yeah, no,
knows? That's
it's a
the whole point.
super cool concept, man. And I think that's why I hit you up in the first place, because it resonated with me, the whole vibe, how you are like you're putting effort into each piece. Each piece is unique. It already is unique. That's why people thrift and they buy secondhand in the first place. So it's like we do that to be individuals, right? In the first place, like wear something that nobody else has, but then you taking it to another level, kind of like what we do with Frankie and Reworking, but you've
Right,
given it another level of individualism by putting your own shit on it, but in a unique way that will only be on the one garment.
right, right, right.
And it has like a good environmental message, I find. Like, you're helping to save the planet. And like, I think the
Yeah,
messaging of people thrifting and people buying secondhand and wearing secondhand needs to be more pronounced with this community. Like I think people do it mostly because they want to be individual, but they're not realizing that it is important for the planet. And
absolutely.
I appreciate other people trying to push that message, man, because we're trying to push that message, and I think there needs to be a bigger message out there about that so that more people get involved. But yeah, I think your shit's rad, man.
Right, man. The other big thing, the big reason why I started is because, you know, I think the whole thrifting world and the whole vintage world is like we're all searching for like these nostalgic designs and these like t-shirts and logos and graphics that we remember seeing as a kid. And like for me, that is like one of the biggest parts of the brand is just seeing something that I can identify from memory. And like when I find that, like that feeling is like, you know what it is. You know, and everybody who will probably be listening to this knows what it feels like when you find a gem and you can remember seeing that graphic, that logo, or you remember the commercial that it was about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Or it's like something that sparks the memory that you had forgotten about. You're like, oh shit, I forgot about that TV show that I used to watch or whatever it is, and it gets you hype again. Yeah, for sure.
Crazy because it's like I think it stimulates like multiple senses when I see it, and like I feel the shirt, and like it even has like a smell to it, and like it's everything. It's just a great experience. But with the recycling, it's kind of I started doing it by accident. I had to sit down and think about like how can I make a brand where everything is one of one, but like I don't spend more time on one than I really spend on the other. Like I can, just crank out, 20 t-shirts in a day. Like, how could I do that? And then I figured like, okay, I should just get t-shirts that already have stuff on them. And then I'll just print my logo over it. And then, all of it will be unique. I think that secondhand clothing needs to be like mainstream. Like there need like Goodwill, Savers, Salvation Army, like they should look into picking up a brand like One Off and saying like, hey, we're looking for a designer to come through and rework this many pieces. And I put out a call to all the Goodwills. Hey, look, we're looking for Superman t-shirts today. We're looking for NASCAR t-shirts today. Because, they have pickers. They have people looking for certain things,
Yeah, in the sorting room in the back, man.
Exactly.
That's an interesting idea, and I think the way fashion is moving, it could go there, man. And especially if someone like you brings it up to them, but collaborations between brands and what we thought was the normal is changing, right?
Right.
Like you look at brands collaborating with like completely different types of brands, or putting out product that you never thought they were going to put out, or like Nordstrom bringing in secondhand clothing. It is becoming mainstream for sure.
Yeah,
like
for sure. And I know you might remember, like I think it was like maybe 5 or 6 years ago when like Urban Outfitters started doing that. Like Urban Outfitters started selling like vintage clothes, and it was secondhand stuff. Like it was old sweatshirts and t-shirts and college stuff, and like I remember
they've
when
actually been doing it for quite a lot longer, man.
Yeah,
we were selling to them. Effes and Frank used to mainstream them gear longer than that. Like we used to do army pants for them. We'd sell them denim. We'd sell them different reworks. We'd sell them bleached out gear, all kinds of stuff. And they've been buying for years and years and years because they get it, man. They get it that like that their market, the youth culture digs it, And I think it's becoming now that even much bigger companies are jumping on. Like it kind of brings me to my next point that, obviously you've heard Forever 21's possibly filing bankruptcy.
Right.
Fast fashion is changing. What do you think is the future of sustainable fashion? Like, do you have any ideas, or where do you think the market's going for sustainable fashion?
Honestly, I think like fast fashion is dead, bro. It's dying because right now we're in a time where people are wanting to have that unique garment, and they want to have that one-of-one garment. So like people are less attracted to going to stores and just buying the same shit as everybody is is wearing, because it's just, everybody's like, I don't want to be looking like everybody. I want to be cool. I want to be unique. I want to be myself. So that part of it
100%.
alone, yeah, I think that part of it alone is going to kill the demand for that shit.
Yeah,
You know,
and that increases the demand for secondhand. It also increases the demand for like hype gear, because then you're
Right.
like, if it's limited enough, you still kind
Right.
of get to be an individual. Although, like, something like Yeezy is so dead, because it's like every other person you see is wearing a Yeezy right now. But
Yeah. Yeah. No, I feel you.
yeah,
I think, yeah, bro. I really think I've been thinking about this a lot too. I've been thinking about, like, where's this thing going, and it's hard to say because, just like you said, like, Yeezy is huge. You know what I'm saying? Like, Yeezy is about to be the next, Walmart type brand of, like, clothes. Like, anybody gonna be able to get it, and it's, you're not gonna be cool just because you could get this shit, because everybody could get it.
yeah, totally.
But with secondhand, it's like, I think a lot of people are doing a similar thing to what I'm doing. So it's like everybody's trying to make secondhand a little bit more, like, unique and special, and make it more demand for it. And
Well, and what you do, I think about this a lot, because there's so many people selling secondhand, thrifters, vintage stores popping up. Like, even in LA, there's vintage stores popping up all the time, right?
right,
It's like, how do you differentiate yourself in this market? How do you make what you're doing with secondhand clothing different? You did it by printing, putting your own spin on it, putting your own graphics on it. We do it with Frankie by, like, completely resewing garments and making it completely different. I think,
Yeah.
like, you got to think like that if you want to separate yourself. Otherwise, you're just going to be the next guy. Are they giving you shit there in the background?
yeah. Mark is acting a fool. He don't know.
Anyway, yeah, you got to do something different, or you're just the same old bullshit.
No, I feel you. One thing I learned is, like, people love to see me do it, like, in person. Like, people love to see me print
He's like,
shit in person. He's such a fool.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel you. So, so did you do it? Did you do live? So talk about the Depop thing. You did events with Depop, right?
Yeah. Depop featured me as a seller when I first came to LA. The people here at Depop LA, the physical space, they're real cool. They show me a lot of love, so I came through and I did some events with them, and I'll probably do some more with them in the future. And I was doing it before Depop too, just doing pop-up events in my city, and doing markets and stuff. And man, it's just like with Depop, that platform it's different, right? Because they're all about giving back to the community. So they'll say, "Hey, Chris, we just want you to come through, bring the press, and just make T-shirts for people for 5 hours, and all the T-shirts are going to be free. We're going to pay you to do it, but we're giving away free T-shirts." So people just flood into the store, and I just make T-shirts, and they just, they tell me what they want, and I'm just making it in front of them. And
That's
people
super rad,
really
man. We've done some live events where we did stuff like that. But Depop is good, a good player in the community, and it's growing, man. Shout out Depop, by the way, if you're listening to this. You should sponsor this podcast. I've seen that they've been throwing money around on YouTube lately, but yeah, Depop's blowing up, man. And they were, like, in London before, or in England before they came over here.
Yeah. I actually, when I came to LA, I didn't even realize they had a physical space. It was crazy because they were sending me all these emails. Like, before I came to LA, they were really, like, sending me emails and really trying to get me to, like, interact with the platform. And I was down. But when I came to LA, I realized, like, damn, they have a physical space and they, like, do events. And so I've actually met people through Depop. I'm doing right now I'm working with a brand called Everybody World, who I met through Depop. Everybody World is they're the makers of the trash tees. They recycle trash into T-shirts, and really,
I know them, dude. I found them at Agenda Show.
Yeah.
They have an office downtown LA, right? Their factory.
Right.
Yeah, they make cool product, man.
Yeah, and me and them we're working on a collaboration right now, and it's gonna drop soon, hopefully before the end of the year. But yeah, I met them through Depop, and yeah, Depop has just been showing a lot of love, so I show love back. You know, for my first year being in LA, I think it's a good way to network and like get out there,
Yeah,
and you know what I'm saying.
that's
But
rad,
yeah,
man.
man, getting out there and doing it in front of people, making shirts and selling stuff out in the open, that's definitely the way. Like, you know, if you want to differentiate yourself, it's just like, hey, I'm a vintage reseller. But like, if you want to be a brand, you got to get out there and show people what you're all about. And since the beginning of my design journey, I've always had the ability to have a screen printer at the pop up or to have a heat press at the pop up and just, you know, give people the inside look of how it goes down, you know, kind of make it look easy to them. And they really like eat that up, you know?
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, it adds another layer, man. You get to see your shit being made.
Yes,
It's like the
sir.
exact opposite of the Forever 21 pumping
Yeah.
out 10,000 of a tank top that costs $7 retail.
Yeah, man. Yeah, one-off recycled garment project, man. I want to go worldwide with it, man. One day, I want to definitely link up with the big thrift brands. I want to get with Goodwill. I want to get with Savers. I want to get with Salvation Army and see what we can do. You know, why is it that Goodwill is getting clothes for free and selling it for a profit? They're the only people that's doing that. So why aren't they selling stuff that's already fashionable? Why aren't they selling stuff that's already ready to go? You know, it kind of takes some part of it takes the fun out of searching for it, but at the same time, if I could go into a store and just find stuff that I knew I was gonna like, and it's not a flea market, I would definitely go and check it out. You know what I'm saying? So I want
True.
to take this
Thrifters
brand.
worldwide are going to cringe at that thought, though. They're going
Yeah,
to be,
thrifters worldwide are gonna cringe, but at the same time, it's like, man, look, look at the time we're in. They said by 2023, it's going to be like a $3 billion industry, man. The resale market, the thrift world, is going to be like billions of dollars, bro. Like, y'all can't cringe at money. Like,
no,
everybody
no.
be at Rose Bowl charging outrageous prices for old T-shirts too. Like, we got to get this paper.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
for
saying?
sure.
We got to get this money, bro.
The whole industry is boiling right now, man. You look at prices. One T-shirt sells for like $2,000 sometimes now. You're like,
Yeah,
that's
I
hitting an
know.
all-time high, man. That's not historically, you know. If you could sell a T-shirt for 500, even you'd be laughing. But now T-shirts are hitting $2,000. Like, what's up with that? It's insane.
Great. And people are telling me like, yo, you should sell this shit for like way more than you sell it for. And
Because
I'm like,
what's your price points on your customs?
I mean, I'm selling like a normal, like a whatever one-off shirt for like $25. Like a shirt that's just completely just like random. It had a cool design on it. It don't have any flaws or anything, but it's just a random shirt. It's like $25 what I start at. And then I go up 25, 34, 43. All the price points got to add up to 7. But like my
That's your
highest,
thing? All the price points add up to 7?
yes, sir. Yes,
Why?
sir.
Is that the lucky number?
It's a lucky number for me. So yeah, that's a part of one off, man.
That's crazy. So, like,
Yeah,
is there a historic thing behind it, or is that just something through your life that you were like, this is my lucky number?
it's just numerology, man. If you look up numerology and you study the significance of numbers and
Yeah, dude,
situations.
I'm like all about it. You want to hear some crazy number shit?
Yeah.
So, my numbers are, my birthday is 28, right? I'm August 28th, which is an 8. August
8.
is 8th month. I'm the 28th, and I was
Uh-huh.
born 1980. So 8
Uh-huh.
is like my fucking number.
Right.
And another weird, my house number that I'm in right now is 38287, which adds up to 28.
Yeah.
Every time I would like be on a sports team, I'd randomly get given the number 28.
Wow.
Oh yeah, sorry, my wife. Come here, man. You have to, yeah. This is my wife, Ren.
Hey.
Hello.
She always is bringing
yeah.
up the numerology. So our
Cool.
last 3 houses added up to 28.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my last 3 house
Wow.
numbers that I lived in added up to 28, and that's just total coincidence.
Yeah, it's a family.
That's
lucky
crazy.
number.
So yeah, I'm all into numerology, so that's super rad that you bring that up, man.
I was born on the 28th as well of December. I was born in 91, but my weight of when I was born, uh, it it adds up to 7 as well. So that's kind of why I started going with that number. Um, but yo, anyways, man, I've sold super, super, super rare pieces for like kind of what people would call low prices, as like as far as just the piece alone itself and then the work that I put into it. I haven't really sold anything more than $200. But it's because I have like right now I'm at the stage where the people who support me are mostly people that know me and they're like my friends, and like, you know, I want to see them rep, I want to see them support, and I'm really thankful for it. So, I give out some deals to people every now and then. But now
Yeah,
that
I
I'm in
mean, fair enough,
LA,
man. That's good shit. It builds like loyalty to what you're doing,
exactly.
you know. Um, but yeah, we gotta get you some followers on here. So we're gonna put the link to your shit on this video. Obviously, you
Hell
gotta go
yeah.
follow One Off Project. What's your main source of vintage right now? Like, where do you go and get your stuff to work with?
Yeah, man.
I mean, you don't have to give
So
out any crazy secrets, but like, just
nah,
roughly, what's your game?
nah, man. I hit the bins a lot. I hit the bins. Honestly, man, I'm gonna tell y'all what it is. I have a crazy collection because of living in Tucson. That place is kind of just like an unturned stone as far as finding like vintage gems. And so like I remember, dude, I can go to Savers and just come up on like 4 or 5 Harley T-shirts at one time. Like, and they're all from the '90s. They're all bangers, and that's just one thing that I could pick up. Like in like a 10-mile radius, you can hit like 3 or 4 spots that are gonna just give you everything you're looking for.
Yeah,
And so when I was there, I would just pile up, stockpile, stockpile. I go to Phoenix and get a bunch of stuff. Like Arizona is just this place where there's not really people looking. Like there are, but it's not like it is in LA. Like when you go to
no,
LA and you find a gem, it's rare. In Tucson, in Phoenix, and places in Arizona, man, these gems are just scattered and like just get
yeah,
out there and
no, I
look.
can imagine, man. I've never been out there. Jesse goes to Arizona sometimes, my brother.
Yeah,
And I think he picked a little bit. You got to just get off the beaten path, man. Anywhere you go, it's like those smaller cities where they're not so much hype. Like trying to pick in New York or L.A. It's like the center of fashion, man.
man, yeah, no, you're not gonna find much.
No,
It's gonna be difficult, man. You
yeah,
got to really like spend time and be there for a long time. But I go to the bins out here. I live close to one, and then I go to another one, and I find stuff, and I have all my boys. They're in this thing with me, so I have a lot of hands on deck whenever we pull up somewhere, and we have a good time at the thrift. I
nice.
see a whole lot of serious faces and a whole lot of just, man, we're just having a good time. We're busting jokes. We're having a good time in there, man. That's all it's really about. So yeah, man, to source. Oh, I go to the flea market too, man. I have some friends and they have little $5 piles and little $1 piles, and I go and that's perfect for my brand. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
So
man.
what's next for One Off? You got any events coming up? You doing anything for the holidays?
So about to do the Rose Bowl very soon. Sign up for the one in December.
Oh, nice.
So December 8th, we're going to be at Rose Bowl. We're going to be making shirts. We're going to be selling stuff. We're going to be having a good time out there. Also, I have a really big campaign that I'm working on getting all the professional details worked out right now. So I want to start this thing. Basically, it's a pop-up tour. I want to take. I'm thinking I'm going to go by crowdfunding, but I want to crowdfund enough money to flip a shipping container into a transportable print shop for One Off,
Sick. And you can drive it around
and
the country.
exactly get it picked up by a truck, drive it somewhere, hit up some vintage heads, hit up some stores and say, hey, can we drop this thing in front of your store or in your parking lot for like a few days and just vibe out and hit as many cities as we can and just spread the word and just that's a recycling thing in itself. I want to recycle a shipping container into a store. A lot of people are doing shipping containers, and the best thing about them is they're transportable. So
hell yeah, I know people that make houses out of them or cottages out of them, and it's rad.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, you should ask Depop to sponsor that project, man. They might just throw you all the money.
Dude, Depop is definitely part of the plan. Like, I really want to, I'm trying to get all the professional, some numbers and stuff like organized. So like, when these companies who I want to ask for sponsorship ask me, what's your profit margin and what can you make and how many shirts can you make? I can give them some numbers and say, look,
Yeah, you just got to put together a proposal for them, which is a pain in the ass, but it's worthwhile if it comes out in the end and you got a shipping container driving across the country.
Dude, man, it's a big dream for me, and I really think I can make it happen. I just want to get the right people behind it and see who will sponsor me and see who's down. Just go 100% strong with it.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's the biggest next move for One Off, man.
Well, I can't wait to see that. You better come up to Canada.
Dude, like, find me a spot, man. Come on, Drew.
Dude, you can park it at my store. Have you ever been to Canada?
Never been to Canada, bro.
Do you have a passport?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good man. It's funny, but like a lot of people ask in the States if they have passports. So a lot of people don't, man.
They don't.
Don't leave the country.
Yeah, no, I've been out the country. I like to travel, so yeah, I have my passport. It's ready to go, man. I'm ready to get some stamps.
All right, let's do it. Yeah, man. Anytime you want to come up, you're welcome. I got a guest room.
Dude, that would be awesome, bro. That would be tight.
So who do you want to shout out, man?
Who do I want to shout out? I want to give a big shout out to you. I want to give a big shout out to Mark McNary. I want to give a big shout out to all my boys who have been helping me out with this. All the boys at the Habitat Studio. That's our studio. Shout out to them. Everybody who's been supporting One Off. I want to give a big shout out to everybody at Depop, Lizzie at Depop, Sarah from Depop, everybody who's been, helping me since I got to LA, just get adjusted and have a good time since I got out here. All my boys that sell me vintage online. Man, I got a few people that I buy from consistently. PFR Vintage, those guys are tight. Long Gone Code, that's my boy Matt. Man, it's a lot of people.
Who's your like top 3 vintage accounts that you fuck with?
Okay, let's see. I'm gonna check the DM right now, man. Dude, I really fuck with. Dude, you know who I really fuck with, but he never shows me any love back, but I still fuck with him. He's this black dude, and his name on Instagram is The Heat Broker. And this guy has like some of the craziest pieces from my childhood that I've ever seen. This guy is awesome.
He doesn't show you love, The Heat Broker?
Yeah, bro. Like, I'll hit him up. Dude, because you know what? Sometimes I'll find something really like, I don't know what the value of it is, and he'll like sell one, right? And I'll ask him like, hey man, like I have this piece and I'm trying to see, if you can give me like an appraisal of somewhat, it's just like, it's a shirt. Like, I just want to see like how much you think it's worth. Bro, he'll read the DM and he'll never respond. And like,
yeah. No, that's a lot of guys don't. I do. I help people out because I like sharing information. I like bigging up the community because I've like been in it so long. A lot of people don't like that though. But he's actually, do you follow the vintage community memes?
No, what is it?
That's a new account that he started. It's called VTG Community Memes, and it's just all vintage and thrift memes. Super funny page. He's a nice guy. He's, as far as I know, I met him at the Rose Bowl last time.
Yeah. I really fuck with his page, just because the gems that he gets crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Who else you got? Is someone playing music there?
Yeah, I think Mark just put on a movie.
Okay.
Our store is like a living room, so you can just like
chill.
So, 1980 something co is like really, I like their page a lot. They're very consistent posters and they always have good stuff coming out. So
Hell yeah.
shout out.
He's also Chris.
Oh, he's a Chris also?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me look on my photos that I've liked. Let's see. So yeah. Wyco Vintage. I've never shopped there, but they have some gems. They be charging a lot, but
yeah, Wyco's an OG, man. I think they've been in the game for like 20 years, 15 years at least.
Shout out to them because they be going crazy. Oh, my dude, David Designar. He's a dude out here in LA. He's a black dude. I met him at the Benz. He's always there. He's always coming up like it's crazy, man. Like that guy's dedicated. Yeah, man, shit. Survive cool. Vintage, they're cool. They got some good stuff. They're in Ohio. I think that's one of those places where nobody is like looking for it. So I think they come up pretty good out there.
Yeah, like speaking of Arizona and places like Ohio, people just bitch that there's too much competition in their own hood, but there's nobody willing to move either, you know? If you're willing to move, you can go anywhere and find good shit. You just got to be willing to make the sacrifice if you're that into it, you know?
Yeah. Okay, also big shout out to Tierra Whack for supporting One Off, her DJ, Zach. My guy Dave Bailey from Glass Animals, he supports One Off too. So shout out to them. Shout out to everybody else that's supporting, man. I never thought that I was gonna get this much success with the brand, but that's why I'm still sticking with it, you know?
Yeah, dude. It's just the beginning. I feel like your time is coming. So we're gonna call it at that though. Thank you for being on the show.
Sure.
I truly appreciate you, man. I love what you're doing. I appreciate all the listeners to the podcast. Please leave us a review on iTunes, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you on the next one.